when Petey, an eager 8-month-old donkey, arrived on the farm. His purpose was simple: to keep Luna, an older horse, company. But what he would become was something far beyond what anyone could have imagined. Curious about their incredible journey? Watch the heartwarming story on Animal Needs Love Today to discover how it all came together. Luna, a 21-year-old horse, had once been a trail horse, leading riders through the beautiful winding trails around the farm. She was strong and confident, a natural leader with a spirit that matched the stunning landscape she traveled. For 3 incredible years, she explored every trail with her owner, until one day, Luna started struggling to recognize her surroundings, prompting a vet visit that revealed she had moon blindness, a progressive, incurable disease that eventually leads to total blindness. As Luna's eyesight faded, she could no longer join the other trail horses. The other horses would run and play together, but Luna couldn't join them anymore. She had to stay behind, often alone, trying to adjust to the darkness she could no longer escape. The farm was quiet, but Luna's loneliness was the loudest sound of all. Her owner deciding to provide companionship for her. On the nice day, she brought Petey, an 8-month-old donkey, to the farm in May 2023. The initial plan was for Petey to be an emotional support animal for Luna, someone to keep her company. But Petey quickly became much more than that. When Petey first met the horses on the farm, he was a little unsure of himself. He wasn't like the other animals, and as he wandered around, he noticed that the horses had a kind of grace that he didn't quite have. They seemed to glide through the fields, their movements easy and sure, while he was still learning how to navigate the world. Petey's first steps toward Luna were tentative. At first, Luna didn't really react. She stood off to the side, aware of Petey but hesitant to engage. She couldn't see him after all, and her world had already been turned upside down. It took a while for Luna to trust Petey, and even longer for him to understand how to help her, but Petey wasn't one to give up. He noticed that Luna seemed to prefer solitude, keeping to herself in the corners of the barn or near the fence, away from the others. His curiosity got the best of him, and one day he wandered over to her, slowly but surely. He didn't rush, he took his time, not crowding her, just offering his presence. Luna, though cautious at first, seemed to sense something in him, a gentle energy she hadn't felt from anyone else. And in those quiet moments, a bond began to form. Petey kept showing up, always nearby, never pushing too hard, but always offering companionship. Little by little, Luna began to relax in his presence. She realized that, despite not being able to see him, she could feel Petey's calm and steady demeanor. His presence wasn't just comforting, it was reassuring. Luna started following his sounds, the soft, rhythmic tapping of his hooves, and she slowly began to trust that wherever Petey went, she could go too. What happened next was nothing short of magical. One day, as Luna stood uncertainty near the barn door, unsure how to make her way outside, Petey took the first step. He moved forward, stopping just a few paces ahead, and then turned his head to look back at her. Luna paused, listening to his soft, purposeful steps, and then, for the first time, she followed. It wasn't just that Petey had become her companion, it was that he had become her guide. From that day on, Petey's role shifted. He wasn't just a companion, he was Luna's guide, her eyes in a world she could no longer see. It wasn't something that anyone had trained him to do, it was just in his nature, a kindness he gave without question. Their daily routine became a beautiful rhythm. Every morning, as the first light of dawn filters through the barn, Petey takes on his self-assigned duty with enthusiasm. He stomps into the barn with his distinctive hoofbeats, letting Luna know it's time to start the day. Luna, familiar with the sound of his steps, perks up her ears and follows him faithfully. Petey leads her out to the pasture, ensuring she navigates the barn doors and any obstacles safely. It's a routine that has become second nature to them both. In the evenings, the roles reverse slightly, though the trust remains unwavering. After a day of grazing and gentle walks around the farm, it's time for Luna to head back to the barn. Sometimes she forgets where the door is or hesitates, unsure of her surroundings. Petey, ever watchful, notices immediately. He circles back, nudging her gently or positioning himself where she can hear his hoofbeats clearly. Together they make their way back to her stall, where Luna can rest peacefully, comforted by Petey's presence. As the days went by, Luna's transformation became more apparent. She began to look for Petey in the mornings, her ears flicking at the familiar sound of his hooves approaching the barn. At first, she hesitated, unsure of where he might lead her. But now, with each passing day, Luna's confidence grew. The moment Petey would step forward, she would follow, the rhythmic tapping of his hooves a constant reassurance that she was not alone. The change in Luna's spirit was unmistakable. No longer did she spend her days simply standing off to the side, isolated in her blindness. With Petey, she began to rediscover joy. She started to play again, something that had seemed impossible for so long. Petey's playful nature brought out a side of Luna that had been buried beneath her sadness. She began to nudge him, inviting him to interact. And soon, their playful games became a regular part of their routine. Luna would stretch her long legs, trotting happily after Petey, who would dart and weave around her like a young colt, teasing her into chase. It wasn't long before the other horses on the farm took notice, but it was clear that Luna and Petey had formed an unbreakable bond. Petey would sometimes stop abruptly, turning back to Luna, and let out a soft bray as if to say, "Come on, keep up." Luna, with her newfound energy and trust in him, would follow, her movements becoming lighter, more spirited with each passing day. Petey, for his part, had become a constant source of joy. Outside, he would race through the fields, his tail flicking in excitement as he bounded over the grass. He'd leap and spin, full of life and energy, and sometimes, just for fun, he would race around Luna as if trying to encourage her to join in his playful antics. He'd wait for her, letting her take her time, and then would lead her to a new patch of grass to graze or to the edge of the pasture where the most beautiful views of the farm could be seen. It wasn't just about the play, though. It was about the quiet moments, too, the moments when Luna would stand by Petey, both of them taking in the peacefulness of the farm, content simply to be in each other's company. Petey had learned to stay close to her, always keeping an eye out for her, and Luna had learned to trust him more than she had trusted anyone in a long time. There was no rush anymore, no pressure, just two friends moving through the world together. The farm owner, a person with a big heart and a deep love for animals, never had to train Petey for this role. She felt overwhelmed at first, but then it turned into a deep sense of gratitude and awe. At first, they had been heartbroken seeing Luna, once so full of life, retreat into loneliness due to her blindness. Watching Luna regain her confidence and joy, following Petey with purpose and even playing with him in the fields, brought a profound sense of happiness. One afternoon, as the owner stood by the barn, they smiled to themselves and whispered, "I never thought I'd see her like this again." The owner was deeply moved by how Petey, without any training or expectation, had given Luna a new lease on life, not only helping her navigate her world, but also filling her heart with companionship and love. Every day, as they witnessed the bond between Luna and Petey grow, The owner felt blessed to have seen such a beautiful, unspoken connection, and was filled with gratitude for the donkey who had transformed their horse's world. It didn't take long for people to notice the incredible bond between Petey and Luna. Videos began to surface, showcasing their remarkable friendship. One of the most popular clips showed Petey walking to Luna's stable every morning, gently nudging her to follow him as they ventured outside together. And at the end of the day, Petey would guide Luna back to her stable, a perfect routine that reflected their deep, unspoken understanding of one another. People were touched by their friendship, and the videos went viral, spreading across social media and filling hearts all over the world. It wasn't just a story about a donkey and a horse. It was a story about trust, empathy, and the extraordinary bond that can form between even the most unlikely of friends. Watching Petey and Luna together, you can't help but feel inspired. Luna may have lost her sight, but with Petey as her guide and friend, she has found a new path forward. And Petey, with his big heart and instinctive care, has proven that sometimes the most profound acts of kindness come from unexpected places. Their story is one of love, trust, and the enduring power of friendship. That's the end of the story today. What do you think of this beautiful friendship? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching to the end. If you find our video interesting, please give it a big thumbs up and share it with others. Finally, don't forget to turn on our bell and subscribe to our channel Animals Need Love so you don't miss any of our new videos. Thank you for your support. Wishing you all peace, happiness, take care, and we'll see you in the next one.